I've been trying to make a lot of videos lately and I just can't because it's impossible to ignore what's going on in the world. And if I did, I'd be an asshole, right? Because I feel like it's my responsibility to give some context to some people because not everybody knows and not everybody's from the US. Not everybody understands what's going on in our country. A lot of people are just seeing destruction, people fighting, beating the shit out of each other, beating the shit out of cops. No one understands what's going on. So first of all, let's explain what's going on. For a very long time, America has been tired and has been asking for change when it comes to police brutality, specifically between African Americans. And we saw that years ago with Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and everybody else along the United States. Why? They did that simply because they wanted to peacefully protest this so that everybody would pay attention to a big issue, which is a massive problem. Some cops are taking advantage of the situation and they're killing minorities, specifically and mostly African Americans. Colin Kaepernick tried to do that in a peaceful way. And what happened to Colin Kaepernick is we told him to fuck off, that he's disrespecting our flag. President Trump told him to fuck off, and every single owner of the NFL, which is a wide, powerful dude except one, told him to fuck off and banned him from sports and ruin his life. That's how we dealt with that back then. So, fast forward to May 25th, George Floyd is getting arrested in Minnesota by 4 cops. One of them's putting his knee on his neck and choking him to death. And that's what he does for 9 minutes. For 4 minutes, the guy is screaming for his mom. I'm not gonna play the video or anything like that. Eventually, he passes out. The cop still puts the same force and pressure on his neck, kills the guy. So George Floyd dies and people go bananas, right? Everybody's done with this. We've seen the same movie over and over and over again, and we've complained a million times, and it falls into deaf ears. So that's what's happened. That is what erupted the movement of we can't stay anymore and stand here. We need to go out there and protest. The problem with the protests, and obviously in everywhere in the world, and it happens pretty much every single time this happens. The problem with protests is, let's just say that not everyone that's there is there for the same reason. And obviously there's people that are gonna take advantage, and there's a lot of mixed messages that we're sending out. But the big message should always be, stop social injustices. We can't take this anymore. As Americans, we're a society that's fucking mad. We're pissed off. And I've been telling you this, guys, for about 2 fucking years. When I opened my account in Spanish, on Instagram, on Facebook, on everything, and I realized the level of anger that we have in this country is close to no other. Why? Because none of our shit is being changed. None of our voices are being heard. And that's exactly what happened here. Without getting into anything personal, because as you guys know, I'm Mexican, and without making this about myself, I want to move forward and I want to tell you guys a few things that you might not be considering at this moment right now because you probably don't understand it, and that's fine. But number one, we're a society that's very mad. We're very angry in the United States. There's no question about that because this is happening to all of us. We feel like our voices are not being heard. Specifically with the issue that we're living right now, no one was willing to pay attention when the protests were done peacefully, and instead we ruined someone's life and people's life and career, and we put priority into money. And that's a very big trait of the United States. Money first, life second. Obviously, with these problems and everything that's going on in the United States, people are starting to get pissed off. And it's impossible to just keep your mouth shut anymore because this is ridiculous. It's getting to a point where it's insane. Now, I'm not condoning the looting, but you have to understand there's a lot of people that say, so you're supporting this, we need to stop it. The counter answer to that, and for a lot of people that don't understand it, is, oh, so now we should stop it. Not when we're killing these people, and I'll just say it, these black people. No. We should stop now that property is being damaged. You see what I'm saying? We can't put goods ahead of lives. It's impossible and it's stupid. Yeah, I wish the rioters weren't doing what they're doing today. I've had many friends that were victims of all these lootings, all these riots, all this vandalism, and I understand and I feel for them. But how else is America gonna change? How else are our voices gonna be heard? And I wanna say that that's why we've gotten to this point. Now, don't get too confused here. This happens all the time in every single civilization. We evolve as a society and we make rules as a society, right? We're not burning women that know math anymore because they're witches. We used to do that all the fucking time and it was perfectly fine. And as a society, at some point we said, you know what? Burning women because they know math and saying that they're witches, it's not the right thing to do. And I bet you at some point society got to this point so that they stopped fucking killing people because they were witches, because they were not religious, because of all these different things. The weird thing to me is, as a country that's so far ahead of everybody else, or at least that's how we sell ourselves, why are we not educating ourselves better as people, as a society? Why is our thoughts, why is our process of thought not evolving with the world that we are living in right now? Why is everything still old school mentality? It makes no sense. And this is what's blocking us. We're being raised by people that don't understand how to be people with others. We were raised by people that had hatred towards others because it came out of ignorance. There's no more excuse towards ignorance anymore in our society because we have access to a lot of information and a lot of people every single day at the tip of our fingers, with our phones, with our computers. And another big point in our society that we need to make is we need to respect each other. We need to allow each other to have a different opinion from each other, and that's fine. At what point did we lose the ability to dialogue? At what point did we lose the ability to say, hey, this is what I believe, and then the other person that you're talking to goes, well, this is what I believe, I don't agree with you, but that's cool, we're still friends. When did that stop? When that stopped, everything that you're seeing is ignorance being met by force, because no one is willing to learn. No one is willing to listen. How many people have you ever met that when you're talking about sugar because they're fat, they go, nah, I don't want to hear about it. Why don't you want to hear about it? Why don't you want to hear about these problems? Now, as far as society and the way everybody feels, and especially African Americans, you guys have to understand, for a lot of us, for a lot of people that have been discriminated, that are discriminated because our name sounds funny and it has too many letters and too many last names. You guys don't understand what that feels like. You guys don't understand what it's like to walk around and for people to look at you like you're less of a person just because you were born in a different country, your passport says something else, or you have a funny name like yours truly. That is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. And not only is wrong, but we're building this thing into something much bigger. Why? Because we're not realizing, we're all trying to have an opinion right now. And that opinion is being met by, fuck you, you don't understand what you're saying. And what exactly do I mean by that? I mean, when a lot of people, and specifically white people, want to throw in like, hey guys, I'm with you, I know how you feel. Shut the fuck up, no you don't. You absolutely don't know how any of us feel, and I don't even know how black people feel. Even when, let's say your grandma dies, and my grandma dies, it's not the same experience that we're having. So me telling you because my grandma died, that I know how you feel, I'm absolutely full of shit and completely wrong. This is something that we need to change in our mentality and the way we interact with each other, because we don't know that. We gotta look at these people that are being discriminated against and say, I don't understand how you feel, but you know what? I'm never gonna let that happen again. This is ridiculous. We are one fucking race. As far as I'm concerned, we're all people. Or am I missing something here? Just because you're picked up, I mean, dogs are dogs, right? You don't go like, what kind of dog do you have? I have a black dog, I have a green dog, I have a yellow dog, I have a brown dog. Like, that is just stupid. We're the only idiots doing that to ourselves. That's number one. You're gonna laugh at someone because they have a funny accent, because they don't speak your language fully, but you only speak one language. Like, that type of shit is what, it's unacceptable. We need more tolerance. We need to understand others. And we, most importantly, we need to understand that we don't understand others, that we don't understand their suffering, and that that's fine as long as we're willing to accept it. This country right now is coping with the death of that society that has lived on forever, that has oppressed so many different races. And we see it where, for example, right now the bailout program for old businesses, more than 92% of those bailout payments went to white-owned businesses. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a systematic problem that we're dealing with. And again, this is not to get everyone enraged and to say, fuck this, white people suck, because it's not true. There's some really great people and there's some really bad people all along. But listen, it's also realistic that we can't have bad apples in the police department, right? If there's like a few things in this world that you just can't go out there and say, listen, we're dealing with it. There's just a few bad guys. I've never gotten in a plane. I've never gotten in a bus. I've never gotten in a car or an Uber where the guy doesn't know what he's doing and he's just gonna fucking kill me. And then the company goes, oh well, there's just a few bad pilots, there's just a few bad drivers. That's never happened before. There cannot be some bad cops. And this is not against cops either, because a lot of people are taking it just against like, fuck the police. And it should never be the case, because there's a lot of great cops. I wanna say that most of them are great cops. But we have to stop and understand this can't go on anymore. We need to make changes to today's society. Why don't we just open the public record of those cops that have had charges pressed against them? Why can we see those? Why can we see when a cop gets complaints? Why can we see that? And that protects them, and it's not fair. It's not fair that you're protecting the cops in that sense, because we've seen how many times that's caused a negative impact on society and results. These cops are protecting each other. And I said this when my car burned down and the cop came out and took pictures of my car. What am I gonna do, guys? I'm just a fucking Mexican guy in everybody's eyes. I get shot if I tell the cop anything, if I go harass him or tell anything to his fucking superiors, because they're all homies, because they can all hide behind each other. And that can't happen anymore. We need to make changes. We need to make changes as a society. We need to understand each other. We need to understand that we don't understand each other, and that's number one. We need to adapt our rules for cops. We need to make sure that if we get sick, our health system is not based on only the mega rich are gonna be fine. There are certain things that just can't work the way they work today. And that's why America has imploded. And this is not the end of it. This is not even close to that. Sadly, and unfortunately for us, there's so many more problems that are embedded into our society because we don't take care of them. We ignore them. We make sure to shut those people the fuck up. We sometimes kill them if you're a pharmaceutical, if you have a big interest like that. Sometimes what we do is ruin their lives, like we did with Colin Kaepernick. So I think it's time to change, and I think that's what everybody's demanding. And I urge you guys, don't clap at each other on social media. That is stupid. What you guys are seeing and the anger that we all feel is because we're not being heard. Listen to each other. Be kind to each other when you live with another person. That's the basic of it. Why do you think it doesn't apply to the whole world? We all want to be heard. We all have a voice. We all are people. And we're all the same shit, whether you like it or not. Brown, black, whatever. That's just a pigmentation thing. We're all humans. Let's stop being fucking stupid and acknowledge that. And let's acknowledge that it's 2020 and that we need to change the way our society operates and the way the police works and the way many other things work that are just complete social injustices, because there's no room for that in the present. Everybody's filming it and people are getting more and more angry at each other every single day. How are we gonna live? We can't. And that's what's going on in America. People are very mad because we all want to have a voice. We're all screaming on top of each other without understanding the basic of it. We all need to understand each other first. We all need to care for each other. We all are one. So that's what I want to leave you guys with. I think I'm going to make some more stupid videos very soon. I just couldn't do anything with this going on. It's impossible to ignore it. And if you ignore it, I mean, congratulations. You must be an incredible human being, because I don't understand how you're not relating to other people and their suffering and their pain and what they're going through. So again, this is not a support to all those who are looting, but it's an explanation for those of you who don't understand why what we're seeing is happening and when will it end. And that depends on us. When are we gonna make that change ourselves? When are we gonna hear others? And when are we gonna be more compassionate? My name is Alejandro, guys. I hope I didn't bore the shit out of you with this. I just wanted to say it. Love you, take care, be safe. And whatever you guys need, I have a website, Salomondrin.com. Go on Salomondrin.com. If you're a minority, if you have a problem, if you want your voice to be heard in any way, shape, or form, let's start building these communities. Let's start doing it in organized fashions, right? In an organized manner. We don't want this to ever happen again. And if we can stop one or two of these or three people from killing each other or from making really terrible decisions, we will. We're gonna be there to hear you. And if your complaint is really stupid, chat, or Karen, and bring the manager out, no one's gonna listen to it. But if you have been discriminated, if you feel like you need a space, a voice, just let us know. You know, I want to say that our community is pretty understanding, at least on our website, of everything that's going on. So, love you guys. We're here for you. Take care and be safe.